What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we're doing some coffee table styling. Now I've done a coffee table styling video in the past, but my style has elevated a little bit. I have a new coffee table, so I thought it's time to do an updated one. Now the coffee table that we have, my husband and I actually built. We have a video on it. I'll link it down below or I'll put it right here and you can go watch that one. But I wanted a more rustic table. I just thought that this was what our space really needed to kind of complete it and make it feel a little bit warm, but I didn't want to pay the price for an antique, primitive coffee table or even like a restoration hardware one, so we decided to build it ourselves. Now, we did walk you through the process. However, we are not woodworkers. We probably broke every single rule, but the video is linked down below just in case you want to check it out. So I want to go over a few pieces that I love to have on hand when it comes to styling just in general, but especially coffee table styling. Now, one thing I talk about on my channel a ton is to have a collection of home decor. And I cannot stress this enough because there's been so many times when I want to style a space, but I don't have anything on hand and I'm running to Home Goods or I'm running to Target, and those items are the first things that I end up donating. So as I've kind of elevated and developed my style, I have realized really slowing down and collecting items over time. And I like to do this with antique items. And so I'm gonna be sharing some antique items in this video because I feel like those are the conversation piece that you're gonna have in your space, or the piece that the people who visit you tend to gravitate towards or ask you about. So I really love to incorporate those when it comes to my styling, not only on my coffee table, but everywhere else in my home. So make sure when you're out shopping, think of building a collection. And the best way to start building your collection is to get a color palette and materials that you kind of gravitate towards. So for example, for me, I really love brass, I love wood, and I love ceramics, clay type things. So you'll see those a ton in this video. The next thing that I think is a must-have for coffee table styling is coffee table books. Whoa, I cannot express how much you really need these, especially if you love more of a styled space. I do know that it can be difficult to buy coffee table books because they're not always affordable, but they transform a space in such a great way. And I go through my coffee table books all the time, and the reason why is because when I'm selecting my coffee table books, I make sure that they are things that I'm interested in. So they're all home decor. I have a couple of fashion, and I quickly realized they were not serving me. I was never grabbing them to look through them, and they were purely just a decor piece, which is fine. But my coffee table home decor books, I'm looking through those all the time. So I personally like to collect my coffee table books with something that I'm interested in, like home decor. But you can, you know, go thrifting or, you know, whatever's gonna suit you best. But coffee table books are a must. Now, a few other pieces that I like to add to my coffee table books are coasters, candles, and conversation pieces. You can have something that's more sculptural, or like me, you can do things like antiques. The last thing that I really love to add to my coffee table is either fresh florals or fresh greenery when I can. I'm gonna style both with fresh, and if I don't have any on hand, to give you kind of a look. If I don't have it, this is how it will look, or if I do have it, this is how it'll look. I think adding fresh greenery, fresh florals to your space, even plants if you can, is such a game changer when it comes to your home decor. It really elevates your home in such a different way. And if you can, make sure they are real. I think having real florals, real greenery, real plants in your home really elevate in a way that faux really just can't. However, I do realize sometimes we have to have faux plants. I oftentimes have a faux plant in my bathroom because it is so dark in there, there's absolutely no light. All right, so now that we've gone over some of my favorite pieces to style with, let's go ahead and style my coffee table. This is how my coffee table is currently set up. Now, for me, I like to completely clean off the coffee table, so I'm starting with a blank canvas. And this is the perfect opportunity to give your coffee table a nice little wipe down. As you can see, my coffee table is square. I like to zone out my styling. So if it's square, I like to, you know, make a line down the middle, make a line down the middle, and kind of focus on the 4 different corners. Or sometimes I like to do 1, 2, and 3 to kind of give it a circular kind of vibe, which you can also use for round tables. If you're working with a rectangular table, so say we just cut this in half and this is all I have to work with, I would just do it in 3 different zones. So boom, boom, boom. Styling this way really does help you kind of slow down and work on one zone at a time so it's not overwhelming. As you can see over here, I have quite a bit of home decor books. I have my collection just kind of piled up and I don't really have any space for them, so I just put this little vignette right over here and I actually really like it. But as you can see, not all books are the same. So I have a green one, I have a blue one. So what I like to do when I'm starting to kind of choose what's gonna go on the coffee table is get my color palette and come over and choose the books that I'm gonna use for the color palette that complement all of the other decor pieces that I'm using. Okay, so the amazing thing about coffee table books is they take out the guessing game. So a lot of the times if I don't know what to do on the coffee table, I'll just grab a couple coffee table books and I swear it works every time. It just kind of completes the whole look. So like I was saying, once you kind of know what decor pieces you're gonna use, you're gonna go to your coffee table collection if you have one like me. If you don't, I recommend buying more neutral pieces or pieces that are gonna complement your coffee table, console table, whatever you're styling, and then kind of build it up from there. You can cover your books with fabric. I have a video on that. Or you can do like me and just kind of collect your books. So as you can see, I have quite a bit. I love my coffee table books. They are my favorite. I have a whole coffee table book list on my Amazon storefront. Most of those books I have, if I don't have them, they're in my cart to purchase. So I will have them shortly. But I love coffee table books. Like I said, I like to collect home decor. I go back to them, look through them, kind of get my inspiration from them and collect them. So this one actually came like this, where it has that more linen cover, beautiful, beautiful book. If you have a book that you don't love the cover, I'm gonna grab one of these. I just pull my covers off and go with the book itself and just recycle these. Now, one thing that I started doing, if it has a beautiful cover like this one, I actually have on these specific books that I have, I left the covers because I felt like it brought a different texture. Most of my books at this point, I have gotten rid of the covers or they didn't come with a cover. I thought having a couple of books with covers just added another detail and another texture. Okay, so like I said, I'm gonna go with more of a neutral palette, and it's something I always go back to. I love a neutral palette. I love a neutral palette. So when I'm selecting my books, like I said, I am making sure that they are going to complement the decor pieces that I'm using. And when it comes to your coffee table, you do want to think of the things that are going to be on your coffee table. So remotes, I actually have my remotes actually hidden behind my TV. If my husband ever wants to go watch TV, he goes and grabs the remote from there and he puts it back there. So we never have a remote on our coffee table. But if you do, having it on a tray and having something to corral those items in, or in like a little seagrass basket or things like that, are really going to elevate the look and give it a place to live. I personally have gone away with, you know, the trays. I used to have an acrylic tray. It worked really, really well, but I've actually switched over to more antique stone. But you don't have to do this. This is just my preference and what I love. So I would use something like this to corral the remotes in, or different things like that that we might want to keep out on our coffee table. However, like I said, it's just not something that we keep out on our coffee table. I hide it and my husband knows it goes back there. Another tray option, if I can find similar ones to these, I will link them down below. but I just wanted to show you kind of the items that I like to use. Okay, so with coffee table books, I think it's actually really nice to start with because you can do your zones with your coffee table books. So if I'm gonna have a vessel out on my coffee table, I like to do just one book and put the vessel right on top of the book. Now, when you're styling with coffee table books, think of the backing and the front. So if you're coming into your living room and this is what you're seeing, you may want to flip it so that it's a little bit prettier with the writing on this side and having the pages face the inside of the coffee table. So if I'm right here, I would want to flip it because our entry to our living room is coming this way. So I'm gonna wanna flip this, but I am gonna have decor over here as well. So I'm gonna show you guys that once I get there. And same thing when you are kind of creating your zones on your coffee table, which I personally really love to use coffee table books to do this, like I was saying, you're gonna turn them. I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of a closer look at that. Okay, so here's the coffee table books laid out, and I wanted to show you guys how I laid them out and what I was trying to say when I was just talking. So basically when you walk in, I have the backs of the two books right in front facing the way when you walk in. So it's pretty when you walk in. And then when you go this way, we have the back of this one. And when you go this way, you have the back of this one. So it does kind of, you know, put the prettier sides out, or it faces the prettier sides out as much as possible. One other thing that I like to do is to add, like, this stack of books right here is a stack of 3. That one over there is a stack of 2. We have one here and one there. And the one over here, I find just by having this coffee table for a little while is the one that I like to put my vessel on or my plants on. It's the best spot. But when you're sitting down right here, this is where we would sit to watch the TV. I don't want the branches too high. So that's another thing when you're choosing your greenery and florals, you wanna make sure you think about the coffee table, where it is, you know, is it in front of your TV like ours is? If you just have a living space, you don't have to worry about this. But I wanted to go over all these different things in this video, or as much as I could possibly think. But this is how I zone out my coffee table, and this makes it so much easier to decorate on. So much easier. When you have your decor pieces just sitting on the table, sometimes it feels like something's missing. It's coffee table books or trays. It really makes the biggest difference. Okay, so now that I have my zones pretty much zoned out, I'm going to start decorating. Now, if you wanted something like a tray, I'm gonna show you what I would do. So I would just take out one of the books and put the tray instead of the book. So that way it still gives me my zones. Now, if you're someone who does like your remotes on your coffee table, I would either put them in the tray here, or I would even put mine probably on this black book because it's less noticeable. But like I said, I hide ours, so that's something you would not see on my coffee table, personally. Now, if you don't have a tray or you don't want to do the tray option and you just want to do your books, you can add a tray on top of your book to cover up some of that photography on your books if you wanted to. And just because you have a tray or something out on your coffee table doesn't mean something has to go in it. You can always keep it empty like this, and I think it gives its own little moment. It's very decorated, it's styled. This to me is pretty just as it is. Another thing I like to do is add layers. So putting a little bowl on top, but even putting a bowl on top of that bowl and adding a little bit more depth to my decor and leaving it alone. Like I said, just because it can hold something inside of it doesn't always mean that it needs something inside of it. And a lot of the decorating that I do really comes with a feeling. Does it feel good? And if you're loving it, then embrace it. And then the last thing that I would do for this little setup is some greenery. Now, I went out and just clipped this greenery from outside, but you can get some fresh florals or, you know, whatever you have, but I'm gonna show you guys here in just a second. I'm just turning it to kind of complement my space. And that is not gonna be the last thing I add. I actually forgot about my coasters. I always like to have coasters out because we do use our coffee table. We set our drinks on here when we're watching TV and all of that. So I'm gonna add our coasters. This is one little setup that I would do, and I would leave it just like this. I love this. I love the greenery. I love the fullness. This is a little bit more full, and you don't have to have it this full, but it's beautiful. I love it. Let me sit down and see. The greenery is a little tall, but it's not terrible. It's beautiful. I love this. It's so, so cute. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you how I would design this space if I didn't have the greenery to complement. We don't always have greenery. We can't always go pick greenery out of our yards, or maybe we don't have that option. So I wanna show you how I would decorate this space without the greenery. So I'm gonna keep this clay pot out. I really love the size of this clay pot with the table. The table's quite big, and I feel like this is a very great scale for that. And then I'm gonna actually go ahead and take these out here and this book and do kind of a little bit of a smaller table, or like less decor. So I'm gonna do more of like a round table style and kind of move this around until I feel like I like it. I have my 3 stack of black books here, and I think it really complements the black vessel. And then I have my neutral, like tan book here, neutral here, and then I have these coasters. I got these a long time ago from Anthropology. So I have those. Now I like my things pretty clean line. Like I don't do a lot of angling. Sometimes, but for the most part, I keep it like that. And then what I would do with this is keep it like this. Maybe add a conversation piece like this little candlestick holder that I have right here. Now this is covered in wax. I need to clean it, but it's a new vintage piece that I just got, and I feel like it adds some shape, some interest. And then the only other thing I would probably do is add a candle right next to the coasters, and I feel like this feels full. I like to add, if I have more of an emptier table, as you can see, like I have a lot of space right here and space over here, I like to add more pieces onto the books just to kind of fill it up a little bit more, give it a little bit more interest. Another thing that you can do, say you're someone who doesn't, you know, drink anything out on your coffee tables, is you can add a bowl, put your, you know, candle inside of it, or just the bowl if you're not into candles. Just kind of play around and see. Like that actually looks really cute, and it adds a lot of interest to the table. I also really love a very empty space like so, something that feels a little bit clean and not like overdone. So I really like that as well. So I'm going to show you kind of how that looks. Also, not having the vessel is okay as well if you don't have one. When it comes to my home decor book stacking, like the coffee table book stacking, I try to go with the biggest on the bottom to the smallest on top. I thought I would mention that as well, but something like this is also, I think it looks really good as well. And just adding like a stack of books. This is something that's super popular. Now, if I'm not gonna have a vessel, I think I do prefer the zones a little bit that cover the surface of the coffee table a little bit more. So having the 4 coffee table books, I think I like a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that sorted out. This feels scaled a little bit better. It feels like it's covering the surface a little bit more, and it feels a little bit more right. And when you're decorating, you'll know when things don't feel good, and then you're gonna wanna swap it out or make a change, and you're gonna know that feeling like, oh, okay, I really like how this looks. And sometimes it's just placing a ton of things on your coffee table and then peeling it back and pulling things from the coffee table, seeing what's working, what's not working. Just like every other decor videos, really just play. A lot of it's just playing and kind of seeing how it's working. And you know, you'll kind of get to a point where you know what you like and you know what you gravitate towards. One thing I like to do as well, see, that's not working for me, is I like to add a little, we have this little picture, sometimes we have it in our phone, sometimes we have it out here, so that when people are sitting down in our house and there's a little bit of personal, you know, a little personal piece of us, and I like it. Sometimes I like that on there. Sometimes it's just a matter of moving the decor pieces around that works better. You know, sometimes you might not like this piece on these books, but you like it on those books. Keep moving things around, keep playing, and you're gonna get to a styled piece that you're gonna love. I guarantee it. It happens every time. And you just have to keep moving things around, see what works. I think I like this guy on his own. See what works, you know, kind of do it at an angle and work it through. And it will feel good. When it feels good, you'll know, or you'll know when you really love it. Now, I feel like coasters are something that's super practical, but something that when I take them away, this feels more like Architectural Digest, something very styled, something very, very magazine worthy. But we have to, you know, we have to live in our spaces. So I do put out coasters, and, you know, you just have to do what is practical to you and also what you love. But I love this as well. I think it's really cute. Very low profile, very cute. Another thing that I like to do is sometimes pull these out and create like a little piece in the middle where I have been putting my little match set in here. And I just have it right in the middle right there. I've also put flowers in like a little bud vase right here. Super pretty as well. But this also adds a little bit of practicality to your space. So if I want to light my candle, I just strike the candle and light it right here. And again, it's just something that, you know, might not be the Arc Digest vibe, but at least it's still styled and pretty. I feel like creating a space that you love ultimately is the best over anything else, because you're gonna be happy in this space and you're gonna look at it. Sometimes I will sit here and look at my decor, you know, just stare at it, and I just love it. It's just so special. That's really the vibe you want to go after, is being in a space that you love. Who cares? Don't decorate for anyone else. Decorate for you. Decorate for what works for you. If you want coasters out, if you want matches out, if you want it to look like straight up from a magazine, it is your space. All right, and this is the final look. I kind of felt a little like I wanted a bit more clean and life. So I decided to take out a lot of the decor, just put some fresh greenery in here just because it's spring and I'm just kind of feeling that. Light a fresh candle for some scent in the space and kind of clean everything else off and just kind of feel inspired and clean right now. So this is the look that I'm going for right now, but this is it, you guys. I'm gonna try to link everything that I can down below, and or similar items. A lot of these things are vintage, but this is the look that I'm going for. I think I need to blow out this candle because it is smoky. I don't know if that's good. All right, you guys, and that is it for today's video. I hope that you found this video helpful and learned a few tips that you can use when decorating your coffee table next time. And I will see you guys in a couple days with another. Bye.